Welcome back, True Seeker. It is March 11th, 2025, and want to talk about some of the headlines that came in today and in recent days. It was a busy day in the news. As per usual on March 11th, it's always a busy day. A lot of big events on this day in history, from the scandemic to the tsunami that rocked Japan and caused the nuclear contamination scare. I still remember that day very well, living in Seattle. People were freaking out, thinking they needed to go get potassium iodide. News media was recommending people do that. Anyhow, today, Junior Bridgeman just recently became a part owner of the Bucks, who he played for a long time. We're going to talk about why he's dead on this day during the 79th NBA season. The ritual is so obvious. And again, it does irk me that so few people in the world are helping get out this knowledge about the continual ritual murders in the world of entertainment. And equally as annoying are the dopes who come around and say, this is just how the Matrix works. No, this isn't just how the Matrix works. There are people being sacrificed on the world stage who are part of the entertainment business, and everyone should know about it, because this entire industry of entertainment, from the rigged sports to the corrupt music to the messed up movies and shows that all pretty much poison humanity in all kinds of ways, it really should all be shut down. Also, Craig Wolfley's death of the Steelers couldn't be any more obvious. It's a pattern we've talked about with other deaths of former Steelers numerous times over the years. We're going to see how it connects right in with the InfoWars death, the reporter Jamie White, which was announced Monday. I've told you that Alex Jones is a Jesuit puppet. Here's more proof that that's exactly the case. Trump turning the White House into a Tesla dealership. It couldn't be any more by the numbers. And again, it should be a reminder also about what happened on New Year's Day with Trumpet Town, New Orleans, getting the mass tragedy, the event where the guy drove the truck over the crowd and then got in a gunfight. And then hours later, a cyber truck blew up at Trump Tower. Again, people don't know New Orleans is, I call it Trumpet Town because you've never been there. It's pretty much all about Louis Armstrong, the trumpet player. And then you might recall also that night there ended up being a mass shooting in Queens, which is Donald Trump's hometown. The same guy who came out to Queen, We Are the Champions, synced up with Queen Elizabeth when she was still breathing. Also, NASA launching a telescope today. What a day for a big NASA event, as we'll get to. The Department of Education cutting nearly half of its staff. This is perfectly synced with Jimmy Carter's death, who created the Department of Education. And again, just, you learn this gematria thing. You see why things happen on the days they do year after year. And we'll revisit also the oil spill, or the jet fuel spill in the North Sea in the UK, in case you missed that. Not many people saw that video, but that's another big story buzzing, especially across the Atlantic. But yeah, let's start right here with the death of Junior Bridgeman. There's a lot to this. He dropped dead today in Louisville, Kentucky, while speaking. And he did play his college ball at Louisville for the Cardinals. And remember, Cardinals served the Pope. We'll get to that in light of his death. They're saying he died from a heart attack. He started at Louisville as a player in 72. He was recruited for Louisville in 71. So he's dead at 71, again in Louisville, the university that recruited him. Just notice in Gematria, again, if you're new here, that's what we talk about. GematriaEffectNews. You got to learn the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words. It's an elementary system, 4 base ciphers, the alphabetic order, the reverse alphabetic order, and both orders with numerology applied. You learn these ciphers, you see through the rituals, you see through the rigged games. But Louisville, Kentucky, like you'd write it on an envelope, 71, matching his age of death. 71, as we'll get to, is the 20th prime number. He's dead exactly 20 weeks after the NBA season began on October 22nd. If you die at age 71, it also means you died in your 72nd year of life. He's dead from a heart attack, which has the gematria 72. Again, his years with Louisville were 72 to 75. Louisville, Kentucky, if you spell that out all the way, equals 75. He got drafted in the NBA in 75. We'll come back to that. But look how obvious this is. He became a part owner of the Bucks on September 24th, 2024, just before this season began. And from that day to his death today, he was speaking at the Galt House Hotel when he dropped dead. The location, Galt House Hotel, equates to 168. He's dead 168 days after becoming an owner. Another thing that equals 168 is New York City, and that's where the NBA is headquartered, New York City. It's where the alien David Silver sits in his throne. But the location matches the number of days from becoming an owner. And then today's date can be written 11/3. Seems like there's always a big ritual in the NBA on this day. We call the NBA the 113 League, the National Basketball Association 113. Again, he played for the Louisville Cardinals. Cardinals served the Pope. Notice he died 175 days after his birthday. It's interesting because Pope Francis equates to 175. And don't forget the 2022 NBA Finals was all about Pope Francis when the Boston Celtics fell to 17-5 in finals versus Golden State, which equals 175. Remember, the Warriors play in San Francisco, which is named after St. Francis of Assisi, just like Pope Francis. And again, if you go back and look at that season, if you go to the Pope's birthday, December 17th, the Warriors beat the Celtics in Boston. And if I remember right, the Celtics fell to 7-5 at home in that game, and it was the 75th anniversary season, and the Warriors had a big 75 on their court, and they beat Boston, giving Boston their 75th home loss in the playoffs as a franchise. Or I believe it was the 75th all-time home loss in the finals, because Boston's been to that many finals, and the Warriors became 7-5 in the finals all-time, just mega ritual. So 175-75. That was the ritual that year with the Warriors and the Celtics. Here it is again, the same number combination. 175 days after his birthday, he left Louisville in 75. Louisville, Kentucky equals 75. Again, get like Catholic Church equals 75, like Roman Catholic. But yeah, he again dying at 71. Catholic also equates to 71. And notice, again, he joined Milwaukee in the 75-76 season. His last year was the 86-87 season, which was 38 years ago. We know 38's the big death number. Louisville's on the 38th parallel, as we'll get to. But in light of him being in the Final Four in 75, where he lost to UCLA, UCLA scored 75 points to beat Louisville in 75. Go figure. But look at this. He was speaking at the 45th annual leadership luncheon on scouting, and he's died 27 days before the college championship game for March Madness, which will be April 7th, the 97th day of the year. He's dead on the 70th day of the year. Again, 27 days from today is the championship. And ritual equals 27 when you run it forwards, 45 when you run it in reverse. Again, 45th annual leadership luncheon, 27 days for the championship, which will fall on the 97th day of the year. And his nickname, Bridgeman, was the Torch, which equals 97. So keep this in mind in light of the upcoming rigged March Madness tournament. Every year the tournament's rigged. Often deaths are connected to the outcomes. Perhaps a major clue here in things that could happen in this year's tournament. This picture that they chose in his article about his death, they chose a picture from January 15th, 2023. That was a date with 59 numerology, just like today has 59 date numerology. Slave, Negro, Rasta, Blues all equate to 59. And for the record, so does Pope Francis, in light of his death being in sync with the Pope. Again, Cardinals served the Pope. He was a Louisville Cardinal. And again, just about being with Louisville from 72 to 75. Jesuit order equates to 72. Jesuits run the show. Again, they gave us the language and the calendar. But here's also the big piece about him dying during the 79th NBA season. Junior Bridgeman equals 79. Bucks equals 79. Murder equals 79. And another thing that equals 79 is Society of Jesus, the formal title of the Jesuits. Jesuit order, the less formal title, 72. Society of Jesus, the more formal title, 79. And don't forget, the scandemic was declared on this day 5 years ago, on the 79th day of Anthony Fauci being 79 years old. And again, Jesuit educated, face of the scandemic, or all the faces of it were Jesuit educated men. from Fauci to Trump to Cuomo to Newsom to Klaus Schwab, et cetera, et cetera. And again, one more time, he's dead at 71, the 20th prime number, dead exactly 20 weeks after the season began. And death, cross, seasons, time, all 20. And remember, the cross represents the seasons, but it's also a symbol of how Jesus was killed. Death, we're talking about the Society of Jesus, the Jesuits being connected to all this. And keep in mind, Milwaukee's big-time Jesuit town. There's only 27 Jesuit universities remaining in the nation. One of the main ones with a good basketball programs right there in Milwaukee. Talking about Marquette. And you know what else about this whole March Madness thing? March Madness equals 71 as well. First March Madness was the Jesuit school versus the Catholic school. Villanova over Georgetown in the first ever March Madness, which has the 71 and 46 connection, like Catholic has the 71 and 46 connection. And Bridgeman also has the 46. And Louisville also has the 46. And Sacrifice also has the 46. Like there's 46 books in the Catholic Old Testament. And Genesis 46 is about sacrifice. But again, he's dead also 38 years after retiring from the NBA as a player. Death, murder, killing, RIP, all 38. Again, I keep that movie poster behind me because I have to reference it almost every day. The murder by numbers were the E's of 3 and the B's of 8. That movie released on Ignatius of Loyola Day, April 19th, the founder of the Jesuits. So Louisville's also on the 85th meridian. And today is the 85th day of the Pope's age. Isus Omnium Salvator, the Jesuit motto is 85, like basketball. The first March Madness was in 85. Don't forget it. The first March Madness was in 1985. And again, just all the mentions of 75 in his history. Just Louisville, Kentucky ties right in. Again, Roman Catholic, Catholic Church, New World Order. They're all 75. Big time number with them. And if you're new here, be sure to look up the song Gematria, the killing name. Gematria is the practice of coding numbers into words. And also look up the song Murder by Numbers by The Police, where killing is as simple as ABC is 1, 2, 3. It's like a sick twist on the Jackson 5 song. And then double tragedy for the Bucks today because they also lose in a heartbreaker to Indiana. So yeah, that's that story. And then Craig Wolfley, dead on March 10th. The date can be written 10/3 like 103. Steelers is 103. Again, the Steelers are owned by a Jesuit family, the Rooney family. There's been a number of deaths connected to the Steelers with the numbers 103. Jesuits in the same cipher is 103. Jesuit, the singular, is 84. He's dead 84 days after the Pope's birthday. And the day he died on had 58 date numerology. Pittsburgh equals 58. The first Jesuit Pope is Pope Francis, which equates to 58. And he became a Jesuit in 58. And again, Benedict stepped down on the 59th day of the year for him. And again, Biden won the 59th election and became number 46, 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday, after the death of his son at 46, synced with the Pope. But yeah, the Steelers. It'll be interesting if Rodgers signs after this too, because Rodgers has that 103 connection. Shane Rodgers might go to the Steelers. And he's dead at 66. NFL equals 66 in Jewish gematria. The first Super Bowl season was the 66 season. The Steelers have been one of the most dominant teams in the Super Bowl era. 66 is the 11th triangular number. The other thing is Trump. Remember, Trump, he gave out French fries at the Pennsylvania McDonald's on Kamala's birthday, and then he went to watch the Steelers on Sunday Night Football. And we told you before the game why Big Mac McDonald was going to get a sack, and of course he did. And I'm almost tempted to pull that up. I just want you to see how perfect this was. McDonald's, Steelers. He might have an A in his name. Let me see. Is it only in my Patreon notes? I know I did a video on it. I might have done an exclusive post on this on my Twitter. I did a video on this if you want to go back and look. But hold on. I do want to pull this up. All right. Again, it was Kamala's birthday. Let me see this real quick. June 13th. That's the day leaving. 201 days left in the year. Another big time number with the Jesuits. Trump went to the game on Kamala's birthday, October 20th. Oh my God. Hold on. That's why I'm tripping. I knew there was a McDonald in the game. He was playing for the Jets against the Steelers, and you can see that he got the sack. He wears number 99, and there was a 99 on the Steelers. Also got a sack that night, and I'm trying to remember exactly what it was about. Hold on, there was something big about the 99 in the game. Oh, it's Sunday Night Football has the 99 connection. And God, I'm so annoyed that I did so many exclusive posts on Twitter because they recently deleted my Twitter account. Let me make sure I didn't do it on here because there was a lot to this, and I'm going to bring it around to this man's death right here and how synced this is with Trump as well. Yeah, I think this post was just on Twitter. Okay. Will McDonald IV, let me see what his birthday is. Okay. He's got a June 4th birthday. That's what it was. See, this is what I wanted you to see. Will McDonald was playing 138 days before the game. And this is what we were saying how perfect it was. Because Donald Trump equals 138. And the man who's dead, do you want to guess what pick in the draft he was the year he was drafted? Wolfley. Let me pull him up right here. You can see he was the 138th pick of the draft in his respective year, 138th overall. The day he died was the 271st day of Donald Trump's age, which is the 58th prime number. And again, dead on 58 date numerology. And Trump won the 58th election after announcing from the 58-story Trump Tower. And again, the first degree of Freemasonry is The Apprentice. American football is credited to the Freemason Walter Camp. Again, the Masons and the Jesuits, two powerful secret societies that are large and in charge in the nation's capital. But yeah, the 138th pick of the draft, also dead on the 271st day of Trump's age, when Trump had this big ritual with the Steelers. And again, when you look at all this and you say, well, how can it be? How can they have a Will McDonald out there on the day that Trump is doing this ritual with McDonald's? Again, if you're new here, you need to go back through everything that I've shown in the videos. And I do have an older video that's still up on this channel on Will McDonald talking about before it happened, why he was going to get a sack that night. And it was a nice payout. Off the top of my head, though, I forgot what the 99 piece. I know the 99 was more than Sunday Night Football, and it had something to do with the larger ritual going on that day. I forgot that piece, though. But again, a lot of these guys are literally born and bred to be, and they're named for their planned rituals that will play out in the time of their career. And consider Will McDonald, he's a young guy, right? He still has plenty of years left in his NFL career. Trump's supposed to be in office for the next 4 years. I'm not sure that's going to be the case, though. He might be McKinley, and he might be replaced in his first year by the younger VP, as we've been talking about, too. And keep in mind, he was 25 years old when they did this ritual with Will McDonald and Trump at the game and getting the Big Mac sack after Trump's giving out Big Macs. But, again, Trump 25, like felon, again, the first felon president, 2025, all part of the jokes. So, yeah, just so many angles to his death, just repetitive numbers that we've talked about over and over with the Steelers when their players have died. Here, let me just pull up the old post on Kevin Green's death before the Steelers played in primetime years ago. Or is it on this website? Is it on my new website? How many years ago was that now? All right, here's Kevin Green's death of the Steelers, dead at 58, Pittsburgh 58. 56s were everywhere in 2020, the year of the scandemic, where the cooties thing was 56, and so was everything else. That was 56 years after Trump's Jesuit education began. He died before the Steelers-Bengals primetime game, and you got to love that the Steelers fell to 11-3 in that game. Again, if you run it in reverse, Steelers is 1-1-3 rather than 1-0-3. And you learn these numbers, you'll see how often they come up in Pittsburgh games. 44 points in the game, big kill number. The Bills had become 10-3 versus the Steelers the week before. Kevin Green died 144 days after his birthday. Huge Jesuit number. Again, the Jesuit Rooney family. But yeah, and this post is talking about the same numbers, same rituals as pretty much what it is with the latest member to die on 10-3, on 58 date numerology, on the 271st day of Trump's age, the 58th prime number. Okay. And this Jamie White, Alex Green announces his death. Or did I say Alex Green? Alex Jones announces his death on Monday, March 10th. What's his name equal? Jamie White, 103. Announced dead on the 10th day of the third month. And I also get tired of the people who are like, well, you run it forwards and backwards to make it fit with the date. Again, there's a reason that part of the world recognizes the date a certain way and another part recognizes it both ways. It's introduced to the world that the date can be read either way. And again, so often the ritual lines up both ways. Again, you write it 3/10, 3/10, 3-1 is in the sequence like Steelers. When we talk about what they did with the Department of Education, you'll see how perfect it is running it both ways. And we demonstrate this all the time. But they look at the reporting on this. The victim, Jamie White, 36, was found lying on the ground in the parking lot around 11:56. Okay. Again, Alex Jones is a Jesuit puppet, and you can learn that by just following the headlines and all the rituals going on with Alex Jones and his thing with the Sandy hoax and et cetera, et cetera. But Pope, 56, Pope 11, right? 11:56 is the time of death. The death was 83 days after the Pope's birthday. Murder is 83. Like the song Murder by Numbers came out in 83. It's the same for the football player for the Steelers, and football is also 83. Or you could say the 84th day of the Pope's age. Or excuse me, hold on. I'm getting dyslexic actually because I take it back. The football player died March 10th. This news broke the day after the killing. This killing happened on March 9th, which was 83 days after the Pope's birthday. Monday, the day the news broke, was 84 days later. But anyhow, this guy murdered 83 days after. And remember how Austin, Texas overlaps with Jesuit order. Has 3 of the same number values. Austin, Texas has the 72, 144, 153. Jesuit order has the 72, 144, 153. Notice this guy's dead at 36. Austin, Texas is 36. The Pope's born in 1936. The Jesuit acronym IHS for Jesus Hominum Salvator is 36. But yeah, again, just announced dead on the 10th day of the third month. And Alex Jones is known for being a conspiracy theorist. What day was this guy killed? On a Sunday. You can't get more Jesuit than Sunday. Again, the Jesuits served the Catholic Church that worships the sun that's said to be 93 million miles away. This death comes on the 9th day of the 3rd month. Conspiracy theorist 93. Alex Jones is 51. He died on a date with 57 numerology. Conspiracy has the 51 and 57 connection, just like Rome, where the Pope is. And another thing that's 51 and 57 is tinfoil hat, the stereotype for conspiracy theorists. And you think 51 in conspiracy, you think of Area 51. Another thing that has the 51 and 57 is moon. And then this year they're making it about Mars. It'll be the next big hoax to justify the bloated NASA budget and all the puppets that have become billionaires off of government money, like Elon Musk and pretty much everybody else in big tech. But yeah, we've been pointing this out for years, that Alex Jones is a Jesuit puppet. And remember the other year, it was the InfoWars former CIA correspondent, Robert David Steele. He was announced dead. And they called him a cooties hoaxer. And again, that was simulated with Event 201. But that news of his death was making the rounds on the 201st day of Alex Jones's age. Again, huge number with the Jesuits is 201. He's a QAnon guy, another 201 thing. The CIA was established on the 201st day of the Pope's age. The words in the CIA's logo, Central Intelligence Agency, United States of America, equates to 201. The CIA's motto, the work of a nation, the center of intelligence, 201. Again, here's the establishment of the CIA on September 18th, 47, the 201st day of the sitting Pope's age. So, I mean, you just think about this. You think about, Alex Jones's former CIA QAnoner, making the rounds about his death on the 201st day of Jones's age. And this was when the whole Sandy H thing was going on. And remember, Sandy H was compared to the Dune Blaine massacre. They got gun rights taken away in the UK, and Sandy H happened 201 months and a day after the anniversary of Dune Blaine. And notice, does anything seem different about Alex Jones's life? Fame is maybe even higher, doing the same studio broadcast every day. Way too many subscribers, buying his bone broth, eating up his lies. Again, just no proof anywhere that anything happened other than a show made for the audiences to scare people out of their First Amendment rights. Oh my God, you can get in trouble for questioning a news story. Oh my God, maybe I'll just shut up too. That's why they did it. That's why they did it. And don't forget, Alex Jones has the same birthday as the Vatican. February 11th, the 42nd day of the year. InfoWars 42, Alex 42, Jesuit 42, Waco 42, where he made his name with the whole David Koresh thing, which again happened, went down on April 19th, Ignatius of Loyola Day. You don't think this guy was a Jesuit plant from the beginning? Got to be brain dead. Again, I just get tired of talking about Trump and Tesla and the big joke with him and Elon Musk and the history of Trump's uncle auditing Nikola Tesla's papers when he died. Again, Elon Musk was declared the world's richest man for the first time ever on the 78th death anniversary of Nikola Tesla. Look it up if you don't know that. January 7th, 2021 was the day. Now he's joined up with Jesuit-educated Trump at age 78. And he's, I'm Dark Mega, 78. The Illuminati card game, the Enough is Enough cards, the Trump card, 78, on and on and on. But Tesla's also 78, again, Jesuit. And Nikola Tesla is 70. And here we are on the 70th day of the year. And on the 70th day of the year, they got a whole bunch of Teslas parked outside the White House to promote Elon Musk's business. I mean, come on, man. And don't forget, Nikola Tesla's also 119. This is the 119th Congress right now. This news comes 256 days after Musk's birthday, which is the 201st composite number, a span of 110 days to Musk's upcoming birthday. Today, Trump used the phrase domestic terrorism, saying anyone who attacks a Tesla or a dealership will be charged as a domestic terrorist. Domestic terrorism 110. Again, president's 110. Elon Musk is 110. From today to Elon Musk's June 28th birthday is a span of 110 days. You could also say it's 109 days later, or a span of 110. 109 is the 29th prime, which also goes with Musk. And by the way, if you want to go back and look at the 78th death anniversary of Tesla, January 7th, 2021, you'll see what was reported that day. They said that Elon Musk had surpassed Jeff Bezos, becoming worth $191 billion when billionaire equals 191. And they said Jeff Bezos had $187 billion net worth on that same day. It's the first time Musk ever passed him to become number one. But notice, 191 and 187, those are Jesuit numbers. These are Jesuit puppets who serve Big Brother, which has made these people super rich by helping create this big tech industry built on the internet that came from the U.S. military. And again, the internet is what's being used to build this surveillance state over all of us, this digital surveillance state where everything is tracked. And they need these puppets who are supposedly these private entrepreneurs when they're really not. They're puppets serving this fascist government where all of these mega private corporations are really just extensions of the government. And that should be super obvious with things like Amazon, because look at what they did to the post office. The post office never worked on Sunday until Amazon got big, and then it became only serving Amazon on Sundays. I mean, you got to be kidding me. People can't see it. And yeah, look into all the grants that have gone to people like Bill Gates and Bezos and Musk and Zuckerberg. Again, the government is heavily invested in these companies, and it's what's really made these people billionaires, our tax dollars. Again, the House of Representatives has the Roman fasces up on the wall, reminding you that all roads lead to Rome, and fasces is the root word of fascism, which is the government of merger of the government and corporation. All right, the spaceship being launched, or the two telescopes being launched by NASA today, the SPHEREx and the PUNCH, with the help of Elon Musk's SpaceX. Again, just a reminder of what's really going on here. You know, it's obvious that Elon Musk is just this government stooge, and now he supposedly serves the government. He supposedly plays Diablo at night. What's the other? What do they call those games? It's an RPG or whatever, role-playing game. But Elon Musk is up at night on his Twitter service playing video games. He's running how many companies? He's doing all this for the government. What he sent out, several 100,000 emails to federal employees, and apparently he has time to read all those too. He has time to read 100 and some thousand emails, play video games, run companies. I mean, you can't see this all a joke. Anyway, July 29th, 1958, the day NASA was established, a date with 113 numerology. 113, right? 113 is interesting because it connects to the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. The moon mission was 24 years to the day of Operation Paperclip happening, when Nazis equals 24 and swastika equals 113. But they supposedly also, those astronauts supposedly took the Scottish Rite flag to the moon, and Scottish equals 113. And with regards to 58, the year that NASA was established, with several Nazi scientists. Again, the main brains of the NASA moon mission were all Nazis that were brought over with Operation Paperclip. Again, Operation Paperclip began July 20th, 1945. 24 years to the day of the moon landing, July 20th, 1969, when Nazis equals 24. But think of the word Nazi and NASA. Aren't they pretty similar? NASA, Nazi. NASA, Nazi. Imagine you didn't know English and you just saw the arrangement of letters. N-A-Z. A Z is like a flipped S, isn't it? I. And you'd be looking at that and you'd be looking like, the N is the same, the A is the same, the Z and S are really similar. The last letter is different, but they both have the same amount of characters. NASA, Nazi. And then what's Nazi equal? You know, Nazi equals 58. Just like how NASA was established in 58. Secret society equals 58. Freemasonry equals 58. The curious thing about that, somebody might say, well, Adolf Hitler was very opposed to Freemasonry, and he said that's where all the you-know-whos were hiding, and he shut down all the lodges everywhere that he took over with his military. That's all true. But again, I mean, it's all part of a story too. And are some of these things purposefully done to create confusion and purposeful misunderstanding in people who would look at history and they say, well, he couldn't possibly have had anything to do with that. He shut it all down. It's like, well, are you sure that just wasn't done as part of the layer of confusion to just build on the secrecy? Again, I don't even know fully the answer to that, but I'm just saying, I mean, look at how it all comes together now. You got NASA, where the brains of it are Nazis. You got the clear moon landing, like I just said, Nazis, the plural, 24 on the 24th anniversary of Operation Paperclip beginning, the 24th anniversary. And remember, the moon landing's on the 201st day of the year, and the Nazis were modeled after the SS. And again, a lot of the Freemason rites are written by Jesuit priests, how it all fits together. And the Jesuit Order 69 as well. Nazis also 69, the moon mission in 69, 24 years to the day, you know what I mean? But yeah, also in 69, they gave 4 Nazis, NASA awarded the Distinguished Service Medal to 4 Nazis for the moon mission. I mean, it's just... so anyway, here we are on this 113 date, you know, swastika 113. We just talked about the headline the other day about, you know, the oldest Holocaust survivor dying at 113, and again, Auschwitz is 113, and what is it? Anne Lies. That's Anne Frank's full name. It's spelled just like that if you want to look it up. Anne Lies. What is it? Anne Lies Marie Frank. Yeah, that's what it is, because it's 113. Again, look into Bava Kama 1138. However, Google has a new funny thing. If you search what it says that verse is about, it's like unbelievable. It couldn't be any more Orwellian. Look up what Bava Kama 113A is really about, not what Google now has the answer for, which is completely the opposite. Again, it has to do with deception. Also, the NASA launch, thanks to Elon Musk's SpaceX Falcon 9, the launch was today on the 70th day of the year, SpaceX Falcon 9, 70. This happened on a Tuesday. The main telescope is the SPHEREx, which overlaps with Tuesday, 95 and 94. It's a reminder the Jesuits were created to counter the 95 Theses. And isn't it interesting how Space Telescope has triple overlap with Jesuit order? So, again, that was one of the 113s today. And then the Department of Education losing nearly half of its staff is the other one. Department of Education, 113. Jimmy Carter, who created the Department of Education, who died December 29th. He died 72 days ago. Jimmy Carter, 72, like Jesuit order. 72 days after his death, the death of his Department of Education. And today has a lesser date numerology of 39. Jimmy Carter, the 39th president. Remember, he died 39 days after Joe Biden's birthday, and they always compared Joe Biden to Jimmy Carter from the very beginning of the administration. And don't forget, he died just before Sunday Night Football, and we told you that night that the Commanders, remember the Commanders were playing the Georgia team, Jimmy Carter, the governor in Georgia, who became president. We told you that night before the game, you can go watch that video too. We said the coach of the Commanders will get his 54th career win, not to mention he used to coach the Falcons. He was the coach when the Falcons, which equaled 25, gave up the 25-point lead to Brady on 2-5 in the 97th season, which is the 25th prime. But anyway, now he's the Commanders coach, and he did get his 54th win that night before the game. We pointed out how he can get his 54th win, and the Commanders can become 7-2 at home in tribute to Jimmy Carter, who died just before the game. And not only did that happen, but if you go back and look at the score, there ended up being 54 points in the game. Commanders box score December 29th, 2024. Commanders won 30-24. You know. And keep in mind, 1229 is the 201st prime. But yeah, Jimmy Carter, same thing as Jesuit order, right? And then what day? What was the Department of Education implemented? It was implemented on 5/4. This is Jimmy Carter's creation, implemented on 5/4. I mean, how long they've been doing this for. Look at this. From 5/4, from the anniversary, from the last anniversary of it being created, 44 years ago, right? Georgia equals 44, Jimmy Carter's state. From the 44th anniversary of the Department of Education being created to today, the beginning of its abolishment, 311 days later on 3/11. Or the date can be written 11/3, like Department of Education. It gets so annoying that the world doesn't catch on to this knowledge, and like every dummy comes around like predict something, and it's like, well, have we not already nailed 1,000 predictions? How about go back and watch the video from before the football game the day Jimmy Carter died? Show you how it works, and then you watch the prediction land. You watch the final score be 54 points, and then now here we are with just the same number patterns showing up in the abolishment of this thing. And I do want to say, as someone who has a teaching certificate and has worked in the public and private schools, I wish we really did live in the land of the free and the home of the brave. I would just start my own school if it was so easy to start a school, and it should be. It should be easy to start a school, and there shouldn't be any government regulation in what a school is. It should just be like, think about it. If you're going to have people come to your school, there'd have to be some reason that any parent would ever send their kids to your school, right? They're not just going to be like, oh, you opened up a school. Well, what can you do for my children? People would have to have a reason to send their children to your school. And again, you would think that some parents aren't the smartest, right? So they might send their children to a school where they send them there because they're sending it to a person who's also a religious retard like them, and they're going to learn a whole bunch of religious bullshit. Imagine like flat earth parents. They'd send their kids to flat earth school. And what I'm saying is, I could see the detriment of this type of thing, like a bunch of kids going to flat earth school and just getting even dumber. But that doesn't matter. If it's freedom, then that should happen. The reality is also there'd be schools like yours truly's where I can, again, people who've seen me work in the classroom know what I can achieve with children. I used to teach in the failing schools in South Seattle, and I made other teachers mad because they were getting jealous because parents wanted their kids to be in my classroom, and they wanted to bring their students to my classroom before class began because I was in there early every day helping tutor kids in other grades. And again, just doing it out of the goodness of my heart and trying to help a failing school. But we live in such a petty society that people get their feelings hurt. And the next thing you know, the administrator is slapping you on the wrist and saying, listen, you can help out your own students, but maybe don't let the other students from other teachers' classes come in because they don't like that. And it's like, well, why don't they come in early to work and help out since everyone needs help at this school? But anyway, again, I was teaching in the era of No Child Left Behind and all the standardized testing. The classrooms I taught exceeded the average by a lot in performance in those tests. And again, I got my students to perform by explaining to them that, listen, I understand a lot of stuff we do in this class really is seemingly BS and irrelevant to our lives, but we're here to learn work ethic and prove that we can, succeed even though this might not be our favorite thing to do today. And here's the reason we're going to work hard, because we're going to learn valuable life skills that are going to carry us forward. And eventually we can study things that we're more interested in at a higher level and be successful in life. Again, if you guys haven't heard me talk about this in the past, when I started teaching, again, I remember the first day in the classroom was a nightmare because children just, again, it was like a scene out of like a movie of a, inner city school where kids don't give a shit. And then I had to explain to them why they needed to give a shit and how, by setting up a comparison. Listen, here's what happens if you do not apply yourself and you get out of high school and you get a diploma and you work at McDonald's a few hours a week or 20 hours a week. Here's what your income looks like. Here's what your life looks like. Here's what happens if you get a job at Boeing. Again, I taught up in Seattle. My school was pretty much across the interstate from Boeing. I said, here's what it looks like when you get out of college and what your life can look like 5 years after you get out of college. And they saw how your salary and your life can be a world apart. That was enough to make them buy in. Again, you show people. Anyway, I'm getting off on topic, but I would like to live in a world where I could start my own school and help motivate young people to be better students and apply themselves. And again, I think they teach way too much stuff at a young age. Learn how to read, write, critically think, do math, figure out what you're interested in. If you can excel in those things as you get older, you can, again, go on a more specified path. But it's just, again, you teach children the basics and why they should work hard at things. Then they get it and then they want to do it. And yeah, again, we do live in our education system's not a real education system. It's indoctrination. They want consumer bozos, no critical thinking skills, enough ability to work at the Walmart. And yeah, if they're going to abolish the Department of Education, what I want them to come out and say is, here, you know what? We're cutting all the red tape. Go out and create your own school. All the educators out there that want to have their own schools, go out and create your own school. I guarantee you I could have a very successful school, and I would love to do that. That would be rewarding to me, because I got to be quite honest. I'm fed up with the internet and trying to get out knowledge on here. It's not rewarding. Hard work doesn't pay off. I mean, look at this: 20 some channels deleted, average views between 1,000 and 2,000 views on videos that should be watched by millions of people. This sucks. I would like to. Again, I would love to see the red tape cut on education, and anybody can go out and start their own school. And if they can make it successful, then cheers to them. And again, for anyone to be like, well, imagine Flat Earth School and all the retards they'd churn out. Yeah, imagine it. You know what? They probably wouldn't be that much more retarded than what the state schools already churn out. But again, if that's what kids want to do, send their children to religious camp so that they can learn about how man survived in whale's belly for days, or learn false things like that, or that the earth is flat. That's their choice. Again, good schools would come out of it too, and a lot better people than what we have now. And I imagine there's people out there who have really good skills in, medicine, and could help start raising up some little doctors at an early age. Like I've said, I imagine you had all the children in the United States wanting to become doctors, not to become rich, but to become doctors to help, save the direction of humanity. Again, you go outside, half the children are fat and obese. Again, I mean, just this, you just see where society is heading, just a total disaster of a society on a major downturn, on a very steep roller coaster. It's just such a scary moment for humanity when you look at what's going on in the world. The apprentice is the president. Half the nation's children are obese. It's even worse for the adults. It's like there has to be a drastic, radical change. Again, and just imagine schools that are tailored to young people that know they'd like to go into medicine, be doctors someday. From a young age, they're learning all those skills at a young age. They're practically doctors by the time they're 18. All of a sudden, there's an abundance of doctors. They're not in it to get rich. They're in it to help cut. Because again, look at it right now, you guys. Look at how expensive it is to get medical care. Here, I'll tell you something that just happened to us. We thought we were done paying our bills for the birth of our child. We'd already paid out like $6,000. I mean, you look at what the total bills were, it was like nearly $80,000 with insurance. We had to pay about $6,000. We thought we were done. We just got another bill in the mail. It turned out that all the bills we got were for mom. Now we just got the bill for the baby. And then the bill for the baby was huge. It was almost $4,000. So now we're up to almost $10,000 that we have to pay even after insurance. But the reason it was so much for the child, because sweet lady was like, it shouldn't be this much. I'm supposed to have to pay $2,500 max. She thought, well, and that's what it was for her thing for the child. But here's why she had to pay almost $4,000 rather than what was supposed to be the max $2,500. Her doctor that was supposed to do the delivery was in her network, and she'd been going to him for all the appointments. He ended up having to he was not available the day that she went into labor. So they had to bring in another doctor at the same hospital we were planning to go to, though. We didn't go to a different hospital, but it turned out that doctor who came to do the delivery was out of network, which how are we supposed to know? It's not like we chose. He was the replacement they sent in because the doctor who was supposed to be there couldn't be. And because he's out of network, instead of us paying $2,500, now we're paying nearly $4,000. Again, this is why it's just so stupid, this world we live in. Like, I mean, I don't even have to explain myself any further. I think everyone just understands, like, yeah, that's a lot of money to have to pay an extra $1,500 nearly. And it's not like she wanted a different doctor. She wanted the doctor she'd been seeing for the 9 months building up to that, who she'd grown a relationship with. But this is the world we live in right now, and it's all just such a joke. And should it, I mean, I don't even know how anybody affords anything. Granted, if you're poor, the state ends up paying for a lot of it, but then we, the taxpayers, are paying for that. And again, like I'm just saying, if you have a society that's just full of doctors who didn't go into it for money, and again, supply and demand, right? If there's just so many doctors, cost would just come drastically down. You now have people that are pursuing education because they actually want to help the world. I mean, what's the average person become a lawyer for? Because they want to get rich. I'd say the average person who becomes a doctor, I'd say probably at least half of them go into it for money. And then that's the other thing too. Once you get in these professions, because everything's such a scam, you got to toe the establishment line. If you're not going along with all the stuff, you're going to lose your certification. You're not going to be a lawyer. You're not going to be a doctor. Again, the Portland doctor who, in the time of the scandemic, was taking records of what he saw in health of the children that came into his clinic. He was looking at their jab schedules, who'd gotten the jabs and who hadn't, and he started to realize that the unjabbed children had healthier, more robust immune systems and were doing a lot better overall than these parents who'd followed the schedule and put a million things in their children's body. It's just anyway. I'm getting all tangential, but to me, I'd be very excited if all of a sudden we lived in a society where there was no red tape and you could start your own school. I've always had that idea of starting my own school. And if you've ever looked into starting a school, it's a very difficult thing to do. It costs a lot of money, and there's a ton of red tape. And if you're not super wealthy, it's pretty much impossible. Pretty much impossible to start your own school. I mean, you can always start your own tutoring service and like supplementary education thing. Those are the kind of things you can do. But to start your own school, very difficult. Very difficult. And it shouldn't be. Shouldn't be. I should be able to, go rent out a spot and start my own school in a little office space and grow it from there. And any parents who want to come. And again, I mean, how would you do that? I see, back when I taught in school, and it would have been easy for me to do, over a decade ago. Like every parent in that school wanted their children in my classroom. They wanted them to come in before school and after school. I shouldn't say every parent, because a lot of parents were totally neglectful of their children and didn't come in for anything. But the parents who were aware, I had a lot of parents bringing their children into my class and saying, I wish every teacher was like you. Why isn't every teacher doing this? And I'd say, well, I'd always make excuses for everybody else and say, well, some people have their children that they got to take care of and they got their own families. I said, I don't have any children and I'm not married and I have a lot of extra time and this is what I like to do. So, and that's also true, I mean, but still, really, in reality, you should want the people who are most motivated to do the best job for children and put in as much time as possible and help them get as much out of their education as possible. So people who know how to make learning fun and interesting, know how to motivate. And most teachers in the school system don't know how to do any of those things. And they don't really care either. They're just there to get their paycheck, is the reality of the situation. And the average teacher, I guarantee you, the average teacher in the public school system, I'd show them this and be like, oh, are you kidding me? That's stupid. That's got to be a coincidence. And it's like, actually, it's you who's stupid. And that's why most of the kids in your classroom are also going to be stupid, because they're learning from somebody like you. Someone with no common sense, no brains, no intelligence. And sadly, I mean, we see how it is. We see how many people think this stuff is dumb and a coincidence. And it's really just them that are dumb. Lackluster, inept. So. All right. Yeah, Department of Education, demise by the numbers. All right, and then just one more time over in the UK, in case you missed this earlier, the jet fuel spill on the 69th day of the year on a date with 38 numerology. You can watch the video from earlier. I'm not going to go over all this, but again, Crowley managed the ship, and interesting because he's the occultist who was into Gematria. But the ship that's leaking the jet fuel is the Stena Immaculate, which equates to 248. Again, the Illuminati's 248 years old right now, as is the U.S., pretty much an extension of the United Kingdom. But again, look, the new prime minister took over on July 5th, 2024, and from him taking over to this disaster that his nation and government has to deal with 248 days later. And again, it speaks to order out of chaos. Again, money will be made off this. Who will get the contracts to clean up? New regulations will probably come out of this, which will put money in certain people's pockets. It seems like this is some kind of science experiment, because articles I've read have suggested that there's not as much evidence of what happens when jet fuel spills into the sea as there is crude oil. The things are a little bit different, the way that the jet fuel is refined. But no doubt a ritual. And again, just to think how sick it is to purposefully blow up a large ship, put a huge hole in it, waste all this precious resource, but then also pollute a body of water when our bodies of water are already horribly polluted. And that's the other thing I think about it too. Just, yeah, what does this do for people's health? Georgia Guidestones, depopulation, the toxicity. We need a Serge Tarkanian song about it, or whatever that guy's name is from System of a Down. So that's the latest. And back to Trump 25 for the top story. Trump imposes 25%. Remember, Trump equals 25. If you missed all the work on the tariffs, by the numbers, get caught up. It's all a mocking of Adam Smith's The Wealth of Nations. That's why the first tariffs were imposed exactly 47 weeks after the anniversary of the publishing of the book. And we just passed the most recent anniversary, which is March 9th. And again, tariffs equals 47 to go with number 47. All imported steel and aluminum. Well, that'll be great for car manufacturing and all the other things that use steel. Him and Klaus Schwab, high fives. By 2030, you'll own nothing and be happy. Ex-Meta executive. People deserve to know what this company is really like. Remember, Facebook launched the same day that DARPA, the military technology branch, ended their very similar project, LifeLog, on February 4th, 2004. A date that can be written 4/2 like 42 when computer and internet are 42. Another Trump cards headline. He told, remember, tarot cards, 78 in the deck. The top cards are Trump cards. Remember, he said Zelensky had no cards. Trump says Russia has all the cards. Come on, man. Yeah. Don't forget, House of Cards was the hit show with Kevin Spacey. Is this going into effect as of March 12th? Because it's already March 12th on the East Coast. I'm out here on the West Coast. This is the updated headline for CNN and Fox. Yeah, Wednesday. 71st day of the year. I have to think more about why the 71st day of the year for steel. But yeah, again, in The Wealth of Nations, Adam Smith, again, for anyone who ever took an economics class, you learn about how Adam Smith is the father of economics. He wrote a lot about how tariffs are the destruction of nations and economies and can even cause nations to go to war. So This is what happens when you get a game show host for the president. But again, we know he's nothing but a puppet. It's not really his decisions. It's just all this crap and all this purposeful destruction will be pinned on him when really it was the people behind the scenes who wanted the destruction and what that would bring a more desperate society willing to go along with whatever the next plan is for the cabal to gain a greater stronghold over humanity. All right. All right. Mason, I thought I told you not to send anymore. Save that money for your wife and your soon to be daughter. But I do appreciate it. I knew there were connections between the Jets and Steelers, though I couldn't put my finger on it besides the obvious connection with Donald Trump. Yeah, I need to, I mean, I could go back and find my video. I know I did a post on Twitter on it with some more information because there was a big piece on the 99 with that, but I spaced it right now. Tara Jackson became a member. Thank you, Tara Jackson. LaDonna Franklin with another one. Thank you, LaDonna Franklin. Wasn't there a show that they recently did on Love Connection and a serial killer connected to that? I feel like that was there's so many things we cover. I feel like we looked into that a while back. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, well, he recently died at 83 on November 23rd. 83, the 23rd prime. He was also Wheel of Fortune and Wheel of Fortune's tarot cards. And this was shortly after the election. And that's right. It was right after Trump got the 312 electoral college votes. Charles Herbert Woolery, 312. Died on a date with 78 numerology after Trump takes or becomes president-elect at age 78. Again, going with the 78 cards in the tarot deck. Again, Wheel of Fortune is a tarot card. Dead at 83. Remember, Murder by Numbers came out in 83. It's about killings, the sport of the elected. He died 163 days after Trump's birthday. Election and murder, both 83 and 38. He died exactly 36 weeks after his birthday. Fortunes 36 forwards and backwards. But hold on, I thought there was something with that Love Connection show and a serial killer. I might be crossing my shows. I think I'm crossing my shows. I'm getting things confused. You know, just one other thing. Recently, our cable provider out here just added to the plan for free HBO with commercials, and I just turned it on the other night. I didn't see much of the movie, but I saw about the first 15 minutes. But they got the Assassin's Creed on HBO right now, you know, the movie based on the video game. And it's like a time traveling with the Templars thing. But anyway, if you watch that movie, it begins with in Spain in the 1400s with the Templars, and then it goes more to the present. But after the opening scene with the Templars in Spain in the 1400s, then it cuts to the more modern time, and they got a rock song playing, and it's something about driving down I-35, right? And I-35 is where the first Catholic president, JFK, was assassinated. Again, number 35 was killed on I-35, and of course he was 46. But again, Assassin's Creed's about assassins, right? So it's like, okay, we go from the Templars, and the movie's about this assassins order fighting against the Templars. But think about it. A song about I-35, right? And then just moments later, then it shows the date of this day in history. In the beginning, you're finding out that the main character, it shows as a boy how he comes home, and in his home there's an assassin in there who's just murdered his mother, and then it shows the date that his mother's murdered, and she's murdered on October 21st. Well, what's October 21st? October 21st is the day leaving 71 days left in the year. You know what I mean? It's just like, look at this. It's just in the opening minutes of the movie. Rock song about I-35, murder on the day leaving 71 days left in the year. And don't forget, Order of Assassins, which is a real thing, is another 201. But again, just this knowledge. Oh, another movie that I started to watch that was on there, and I didn't finish it either. Heretic. Well, here, rather than write out Heretic, write out Religion. Heretic is about these. By the way, I was like, if you haven't seen this, about these two Mormon missionaries who are girls go to a man's house and he invites them in and he plays a trick on them, and then he's. But as I was watching this, I was like, do the Mormon church send out women missionaries now, or girl missionaries? I've only ever seen boy missionaries. Is that a new thing that the church is doing? And don't forget, the Mormons just opened up a temple next to the Vatican in recent years. But anyway, Heretic came out on the day leaving 53 days left in the year. The whole movie's about religion. But I'm right in the middle of that one. I still need to finish it. In the middle of the movie, I think it's right around 40-minute mark. He's showing these Mormon girls how religion's no different than the game Monopoly. And I actually learned something watching this scene. I didn't realize, and I looked it up. I was like, oh, that is true. So the game Monopoly was made. It was a copy of a game that came out before it. That's pretty much the exact same game. It was called the Landlord's Game, and that game never got famous. But the guy who copied that game and changed the name to Monopoly, he made it super famous. But what's hilarious is he shows how the Landlord's Game is Judaism, which is not popular. Less than 1%, well, supposedly less than 1% of the world's population is Jewish. And he's saying this is the original monotheistic religion, which is true. And he's saying Christianity is the clone of it with better advertising. And he points out, he says, Jews don't send people door to door to recruit their religion. That's what Christians do, like you guys. And he ends up saying that they're like the Mormons are a weird spinoff of like a, I forget, like how there's spinoffs of Monopoly. But anyway, what made me laugh, though, is when he's saying Monopoly is Christianity, he points out that Monopoly, and I actually need to look up if this is true, but it's what he says in the movie. He says Monopoly has been created in 47 different languages in the world. And I thought, how perfect. 47, as he says, it's Christianity. Again, the Landlord's Game, which is the original, which didn't get popular, is the Judaism, and then the one that copied it and made some different changes is Christianity, and marketed it and got way bigger. But yeah, just right. It's right in the middle of the movie. If you end up watching Heretic, which again did come out on the day leaving 53 days left in the year, November 8th. It's all about religion. And really, here's the other thing that movie does, right? The psychopath evil guy who's really deceptive of these girls, everything he says about religion is 1,000,000% true. But certain people will watch that movie and they'll be like, see, if you're not religious, you turn into an evil villain killer. It's like, I don't think that's true. And in fact, I think a lot of religious people turn into super evil villain killers, and they do the killing in the name of their religion. But I do understand the argument for both sides too. It's like you watch certain people, it's like maybe that person actually does need religion. It's like, I don't know why everybody just can't live by the golden rule. Throw out all the dogma, just live by the golden rule. Treat the people the way you want to be treated. If people aren't treating you right, you have the right to defend yourself. I think those are like pretty much the two. I think that could be the whole religion right there. That's the new religion, just those two things. Treat other people the way you want to be treated. If you're not treated well, you have the right to defend yourself. End of story. But yeah, definitely an interesting movie. I'll have to finish it. I did read about it online, so I kind of know what's already going to happen. But if you do watch it, you'll see right in the middle when he compares Monopoly to Christianity. Okay. I'm gonna have to think more about it tonight. Why? Steel and aluminum. It's not just steel, and of course, aluminum is used in a million things. Steel and aluminum. Well, it's 248, like President Donald Trump. There's that 58 again. I don't know. There's still got to be a reason for the 71st day of the year. These people don't do things arbitrarily. I also do need to get some rest, though. So yeah, busy day. Wanted to keep up with the headlines. And again, thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share. I honestly don't know who does the song. Maybe it is the Black Angels. Um, I mean, the lyrics are unmistakable at the beginning of the movie. Black Angels, I-35. Let me see. I think this is it because they kept saying I-35, and it did go to I-45 next. Yep. And then 75. This is funny. Then back to 35. Here, I'll show you why all of these are funny. 35, 45, 75. Catholic 35. IHS, like the Jesuits, 45. Catholic Church 75, where we started with the death of Bridgeman. So, yeah, that must be the song. That must be the song. Out of curiosity. The song came out in 2010, huh? It's called the Entrance Song. That's perfect because it's the entrance to the movie. Let's see when the song came out. That's not what I wanted. Well, for whatever reason, can I get something more specific than 2010? It released on Caesar Borgia's birthday anniversary, White Jesus. That's also interesting. Huh. All right, but yeah, if you're a cable provider added that HBO with ads like mine did recently, I got Spectrum. You can check out how that movie begins. You'll see exactly what I just said. They got to drop to 35 and 71 in the opening minutes. Dallas 113 would know that. And it's perfect, right? That's what I'm saying. It's like a tribute to the assassination of JFK. Oh, here, let's see when that movie came out, actually. Assassin's Creed movie release date. When did it come out? So it came out almost a month after the anniversary, 29 days later. Came out on the winter solstice. Came out in the time of Saturnalia. Came out on a date with a lesser date numerology of 49, like Dallas is 49. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, check it out. Again, just having the knowledge, none of these things should get by you. So, and again, I mean, that's the thing about having the knowledge. You just see how like Hollywood's mocking you, entertainment constantly mocking. It shows you there is a cabal that's like making fun of us. They're doing these things. They're making fun of us in their entertainment. It's like they're in vogue. You're never gonna get it. You're never gonna get it. Yeah, that Auburn Yale game last year, that was the best. That was the big payout last year. We knew it was Lock City for the Yale upset. Again, if you guys missed it, Yale was 322 years old. They played Auburn as a heavy underdog on March 22nd, 3-2-2. And if you go back and look at the box score for Auburn Yale on March 22nd, 2024 in the March Madness tournament, Auburn had the lead at halftime with 41 points. Remember, Order 322 is AKA Skull and Bones out of Yale, but Auburn had 41 at halftime. And then they scored 35 in the second half, and they got stuck on 76 points, and they couldn't get off 76. And Yale came back and beat them. And keep in mind, 35 more points in the second half. Skull and Bones is 149 as well, the 35th prime. So that was a big payday. Every year we nail big upsets in the opening round of the tournament, just finding the riddles. But that was one of the easiest of all time. You wish you could get Yale being 322 years old playing on 322 as a huge underdog every year. What they paid? 9-1. I think they paid 9-1 to upset Auburn. So. All right, we'll leave it there for now, True Sticker. Oh, hold on. Oh, I got to look up one other thing. Hold on. Let me see if this happened tonight. They covered. They didn't upset. We were wondering if Delaware could. They were a huge underdog versus this UNC Wilmington. We were wondering if they could upset tonight, synced up with Joe Biden from Delaware. If you took them with the points, you won, but they did not quite upset. Okay. Yeah, I got to leave it there. I got to get some rest, you guys. Have a good rest of your night. Thanks to everyone who hits the like and the share. And again, if you guys are not getting notifications, try unsubscribing from the channel. And then after you unsubscribe, just resubscribe. Somebody told me that if you do that, if you unsubscribe and then resubscribe and hit the bell, you'll start getting notifications again. I don't know if that's true, but somebody told me that worked for their channel. So, and their channel subscribers. If you're not getting notifications, you might want to try that out. Delaware was at least a 10-point dog tonight. At least a 10-point dog. I forget exactly what it was, but it was around 10 points. Might have been a little bit more than that. All right. We'll leave it there, you guys. Until next time.